What up, y'all? I'm Rajay.
And I'm Shy, and welcome to the RXS podcast.
The podcast where we provide inspiration, motivation, and information to the music community.
Come on, let's
Gang.
go.
Yeah.
So listen, what are we talking about today?
I actually have no idea, but I know who we're talking to, and it is going to shock y'all that he's talking. So I'm looking forward to what we talk about.
For sure.
All right, let's go.
All right.
I got my little brother Dominique Britt in the building.
What up?
What's good? If y'all know Dominique, y'all know this is abnormal.
Yeah.
But we serve a God that can do the impossible. Hey, what up, boy?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, boy. How long you been in town?
Since Sunday. I've been here since Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if y'all don't know, Dominique is an amazing musician from here, Rocky Mount. He don't live here no more, but he still be here. He's incredible. He say he alright, but if you know, you know. So I want to do what we always do. Take it from the top, bro. Tell them where you grew up.
I grew up in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Shout out 252. Musical family, non-musical family?
Musical, all the way, both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah. So, like, they sing and play, or they just
Sing, play, preach, all of it.
Of course, y'all, I know, but I'm asking him for y'all because I know. So, like, who started y'all doing all of that?
My dad, actually.
Okay.
My dad started us. Well, it's three of us. I got two brothers.
Yeah.
It's three of us, so he pretty much just Joe Jackson us. Yeah, he pretty much just Joe Jacksoned us.
For real. So it was like no choice?
Pretty much. I mean, this is all I wanted to do anyway. So it was like,
Okay. So you already knew you wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you?
like 3, 4,
What was the first instrument?
drums.
That's always the first instrument.
It's the
3 or 4.
funnest. It's the funnest.
It make the most noise. It got the most pieces. So you play. How long did you play drums before you start playing something else?
That's a good question. Probably about a year, if that.
And then where you go?
Than that. I went to bass after that. So we had a full band after that.
Explain what you mean by full band.
Bass, drums, and keys. Because my brother played keys, and my oldest brother played. He played drums.
So, did you play bass to complete the band?
In my mind, yes. That's exactly why I went to bass. Yeah. I wanted playing time. I didn't want to keep sitting waiting for my chance. You know what I'm saying?
So he was like, you know what? I would play something that y'all ain't even playing.
Exactly. Exactly.
So then, like, when did keys come?
Keys came after. So my middle brother, after he went on the road and all that stuff, we kind of needed a keyboard player at the church. So that's when I took over that.
Yeah. So I guess we should talk about it since you just mentioned it. Okay. Woo!
I feel like I should be feeling like that.
Okay, who is your middle brother?
Jason Britt.
Yeah. So, if you know Jason Britt, you know Jason Britt. If you don't, we're going to explain. This is Dominique's brother. He is the one that paved the way for us all to do it. Like, my stepdad Ray kind of connected him, and then he like connected us. It just started like boom, 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 boom. Incredible keyboard player, incredible musician, incredible person, incredible personality. He is no longer with us due to a ridiculous tragedy, but he's the one. He's the one. That's the thing. So, yeah. So y'all playing. So do y'all dad got y'all three like, oh, you know, were you in the group? Cause you the boys or no? We have to talk about it. It is appropriate.
I was in the group without being in the group.
Explain.
So when I first started, I was playing without being on. So I was just standing on stage holding my bass.
Oh.
So I was in the group, but I wasn't in the group.
Yeah.
You know
So then how old were you when they turned the bass on?
That's a good question. I want to say like 5 or 6 maybe.
Jesus. Y'all, because I know Dom, but I don't know the history. So some of this stuff I'm asking him, I don't know the answer to. But it makes so sense why he's so good. Dominique is really good. So it's like 3 years old, drums. Okay, from 3 to 4, we playing drums. From 4 to 5, we learn bass. 6, we turn it on.
We in the game, man, at the point, yeah.
Yo! So how long do you play like with your dad? Like how long were you playing with the group?
For maybe about 3 or 4 years,
Okay.
I think. We didn't really do a lot, so it was just here and there. We're just going.
So what other stuff were you doing at the time?
Church, family church, that's also where I got my start.
And it's a lot of them, and they all really, really good. It's a whole lot of them, and they are all incredible. So you watching them, you doing your thing. So in your mind, are you thinking I want to be a professional musician, or you just saying I want to play?
At the start of it, I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
I didn't do it for money. I didn't do it for none of that. I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
The love of music. That's all that was. Yeah.
So when did it become a profession?
It became a profession for me around the age of 16, actually.
See what I'm saying?
When I got my first chance to actually play at a church that wasn't, the pastor didn't have my last name.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that was Truth Tab, Pastor Haywood Parker.
Let's go. Shout out to Truth.
Yep.
Shout out. So 16, you start playing at Truth. How long did you play there?
2 years, I think.
What is the biggest lesson you learned playing at Truth?
Just learning the flow of church, being sensitive to the room and the spirit, the Holy Ghost, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you can play a whole bunch of, I know a lot of musicians that can play, but they're not sensitive to the spirit.
Yeah.
So
man.
they play the wrong things at the wrong time. So that was a big lesson for me.
Yeah. Let's bask in that for like 3 seconds. Because it's the truth. So you playing there for 2 years. What happens after that?
I actually left there and I went to my mom's church where she was the executive pastor, which is Greater Joy.
Come on. Did you like playing there too?
I mean, yeah, it was only my second church.
So first church, you playing like main keys?
Main keys and key bass.
Whoa, he here with it. 2 keyboards or split on one?
2 keyboards.
He here with it. So then when you go to your mom's church, what you playing?
Straight key. Well, it was actually, I filled in on whatever instrument they needed at first.
Do y'all hear what he's saying? That means whoever ain't here today, I got it.
That's my spot. That's my spot for that day. Yeah.
Yo, the craziest thing in the world. So you play there, you play at Greater Joy. How long you play there?
I only played there for a year, I think. Maybe less than a year.
Okay. And then how old were you at this point? 17?
Yep. About to turn 18.
17, about to turn 18. Where do you go from there?
I went on the road with Doc.
Yeah.
17, straight out of high
17.
school.
Straight up. So here's where I tell the story. 17, I'm 16. I start playing with Doc. Because Jason just straight quit. Just straight quit. There's no other way to say it. The boys called Jay. Where you at? Hey, man, I'm with the clouds today. Today? Yeah, today. we. Hey, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Boys nervous. What's it, Jay? Hey, nervous. Like, just know. I think they said they saw him the next day.
Probably.
Because they was on the same show, like, hey, Jay. No, the clouds here. Remember about yesterday? I ain't with y'all today neither. So they do that. They do the little 3-piece for a little while. Will, Tank, and Chris. Because it was Will, Tank, Chris, and Jason. Iconic. Yep. So
my favorite highlights band.
God Almighty, to this day. So then Jason quits. I start playing ox and like organ and ox, right? So then we playing, we doing our thing. So then things transpire where Will, Tank, and Chris, they stop playing. And some more guys start playing. I don't even know if you know this, Dom. So I'm going, but I'm riding with Robert to rehearsal because, of course, I don't drive.
I actually do the same thing.
I'm 16 years old, 17 years old. I don't drive, so I'm going with Robert. So then this one day, I don't know how. I guess me and Milton, shout out Milton Lynch, and Jason were together. He was like, bro, I think I needed a ride. This, you know your brother. I needed a ride. So he gave me a ride. But the day that he gave me the ride, the other keyboard player won't there. So he gives me a ride. I'm about to play. I'm like, my boy ain't here. I'm like, Jay, you here, man. You here. So I'm at this point, I'm playing main keys, right? So I'm like, you here. So he like gonna play organ and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you gonna play? He was like, yeah, I'll play. So he get on stage, of course, no rehearsal needed. We play. And then I'm like, when it's over, I'm like, Jay. He like, man, I'll think about it. I'm like, come on, man. Because, of course, Daryl's like, if I could, you know he always plotting. If I can keep both of them, I'm in there. I'm like, Jay, come on, man. He was like, all right. So, of course, we switch because Jay, he's a main guy. We switch. And then we play. And then I tell Jay and them like, yo, I'm about to take my girl really serious. Like, my life is about to get serious where the road may not be a good idea for me. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm done. And I'm like, yo, you have to get your brother. It makes the most sense.
He's doing the yeah, he's doing the he's doing the yeah, he's doing the new thing. I'm so glad that he's doing a new thing.
So I'm like, he like, all right, man. So then that's when you start playing. Mm-hmm. That's what. And then Jay pulls one on you.
Mm-hmm. We played together for like 6 months and he was out. Yeah, he did.
Then Jay pulls one on Dom. So now Dom is in the same position as me. It's like, I'm coming with the homies and they leaving me. Why do they keep leaving? So then that happens. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching y'all like, okay, I have to set the stage again. Before I start playing, Dom, you may know. Before I start playing with Doc, I have never heard on stage, probably never on records either. I've never heard anything but strings and horns on Quartet Records. Ever.
Facts.
So then that Phantom X6 comes through swinging. I'm like, hey, swinging. So then, if you know Dom, you know Dom. So after I stop playing, he starts playing and takes that to 1,000,010. What was your thought process behind saying, I'm not going to be the typical quartet aux player?
For one, I mean, you had already opened that door.
Yes, sir.
So I didn't want to come behind you and bring less than you did.
Wow. Whoa. Yeah.
So I kind of watched the videos that you were doing and I took that and I was like, okay, so how can I make this me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just took it and ran with it. Instead of saying, okay, this is quartet, I'm just gonna play quartet. Yeah. I want to add some different stuff. Yes. I don't like to be basic. You know what I'm saying? So
Dom does not listen. Dom does not like to be basic. Not only does Dom not like to be basic, he can play everybody part, which means that ain't gonna fly. That chord ain't gonna fly. That bass note do not match, and that kick pattern is ugly. So how about pause for a minute? Let me hear you change that right there. See, cause that's the problem. Y'all, Dom is this guy like, oh no, that ain't what you played 4 bars ago. He done got me good. You done got me good and ready to play this line. I done switched this sound, and I'm out here by myself. Man, that ain't what you said a while ago, man. I need you to run that back. So where does that ear come from? Like that precision and that level of excellence, where does that come from?
I think that came from being in the studio with Jason.
Yes.
Even being in the studio with you.
Yes, sir.
Sitting around Braswell.
Shout out
and
Braswell.
just hearing how y'all, you know what I'm saying, navigate through the studio and build songs.
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So I imitated what I saw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy, y'all, because like I said, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'll explain it. We come from a very small town. Rocky Mount compared to the rest of the world is not big. But the talent, like, I ain't going to say everybody, but almost everybody is top tier. Almost.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not everybody, but almost everybody is like, yeah, they are pros. It don't matter if you 16 or 45. Everybody good. How are y'all good? This just don't make sense. So you move along. What happens? How long did you play with Doc? The first
time.
That's another thing that's crazy. This is a thing with me and Dom, Jason. I'm going to say it in a nice, it ain't bad. We can come and go when we feel like it. That's just the truth. Hey, Dom, you know what? I feel like it. Okay, we'll just be at rehearsal. Okay, I don't feel like it. Dom. All right,
That's the truth, though. It's the truth.
So, was there like the first time that you stopped, was there like a musical reason that you stopped? Was it like a life reason?
The first time I stopped, I don't even remember. I believe it was because of my brother's accident and stuff. I just didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? It put me in a different place there. I didn't want to be in the place where he started me at. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir. So, how was it? How was it navigating that?
It was tough.
Yes, sir.
It was tough. It's still tough to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working through it. So it's a process that I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Honestly. And it's been 8 years. So
yeah. So what? Yeah, babe. It's been 8 years. It has been 8. So what makes you? So after you take that period to just kind of like, okay, I just need to chill, get myself together. What makes you go back and then say, okay, I'm ready?
Just missing it.
Yeah.
Cause it's something about the road. Like you do it for a while, you get tired of it. Yeah, you get tired of it, but you want to go back.
Yeah, you want to go back. That's the
You know what I'm
that's the
saying?
facts.
I feel like if I had $1 million, I would be on the road right now.
Right.
That is what I would want to do.
Because the only reason, like, especially in quartet, like, because of the financial structure, you gotta do it because you love it. You really is gotta. That's the only reason.
Facts.
We ain't about to build no house. We barely about to pay rent unless we real wise with our money. Mm-hmm. Or we have, like, in situations like me and Dom's, it is possible because, number one, situations where we play at churches that trust us, or we do sessions during the week, and then it's all in a pot that helps us survive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what was I about to say from there? So you go back, you miss it. So, did you play at church between the first time and the second time?
I did. Yeah, I did.
And were you okay or not okay?
I mean, at first I was okay, but then after a while, you know what I'm saying, you start to miss it. Like I said, you need that quartet fix after a while. Like, you need a good drive.
If I play one more CCM song in this mug, I'm gonna go crazy. If I play one more warm pad in here, I can't take it no more. Hey, no, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. So, because like in between that, you did play at like what would be considered like how church is now, like the progressive, the CCM, multicultural, LED lights.
Yep.
You had that vibe. Did you like that vibe?
No. No. But I mean, at the time, I needed to do what I needed to do to survive. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's talk about that. Survival mode as a musician. What does that feel like?
A struggle.
Yes, sir.
It feels like a struggle. Being a musician, sometimes you can go through a season where it just feels great. Like everything is, your bills are paid, your savings account is growing, you got gigs. And then you'll go through a season where it's like, am I supposed to be doing this? Or what am I doing wrong? Or because it'll feel like you're not in the right place, and you're not in the right time frame or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So if you did you actually ask yourself like, should I quit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about it. What?
I ask myself that with every situation. Like, should I quit? Should I keep going? Is it worth it for me to keep going? Like with any situation, I'm asking myself that.
Yeah.
That's how I navigate through.
So
you know
how
what I'm
do
saying?
you get to the answer when you ask yourself that?
You pray about it.
Talk,
pray
boy.
about it.
Talk, boy.
Pray about it and let God guide you where you need to go. You know what I'm saying?
So let's say for instance, there's a gig somebody wants you to do. You go to God, you pray about it. What does the answer normally look like?
So, well, my bishop always says, if you know it's God if it sounds like your pastor. You know what I'm saying? So, so for me,
That's crazy.
If I'm praying and I'm constantly hearing my pastor's voice, like, this is a good opportunity. This will bring you this, or this won't have you doing this, or you know what I'm saying, just guiding me through. I'm like, okay, maybe I should do this because the voice in my head is telling me to do it, and it sounds like Bishop Younger.
Yeah. Shout out Bishop Younger. Shout out the Ramp Church. Shout out Lynchburg. The whole crew, they going crazy over there. Boy, y'all going viral every week. I be like, God, if I see Bishop Younger one more time. Oh my, boy, listen. Okay, now let's go there. What is it like going through all of that? Because I know you, and I know stuff that we have talked about and stuff we haven't talked about on your spiritual journey. So what is it like to be at a ministry like that after searching for it for so long?
I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic to have a church community that actually cares about you.
Yes,
and, sir. Yeah. So to actually find that I actually didn't know I needed.
Yeah.
To find it, it put me in alignment. You know what I'm saying, with my purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing.
So what was that journey like? Okay, go back. What or when did you realize you needed to find it? And then what was the journey like?
So Bishop Younger did a service. I want to say it was for Pastor Brewington.
Shout out Latoya Brewington. I'm about to say Lakita, that's her sister. Of course we know them. Shout out Toya.
So yeah, he did a service for her in I want to say Wilson it was. And yeah, pretty much.
And at this time he's not your pastor.
No.
You're just going to the service.
I'm just going to the service.
Why did you go to the service? Did you have to play?
I played, but I didn't have to play. I was just going with the homies. So
that's normally how it be.
Yeah.
So you might as well. You hear the same thing with Jason. You hear you roll with us. It's another keyboard right there. All you got to do is just sit right there, and we good.
Facts.
What's the song? It don't matter. The songs don't matter. Just play. So that happens.
Yeah. So
okay.
It was a service, and honestly, I don't even know what was said, but all I know is I couldn't contain the tears. I couldn't, like, it felt like something was on me, and
Yes,
I was
sir.
like, okay, that's got to be God. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And after that, I was just trying to get to the ramp, and then once I actually got there, that's when God released the assignment to me about what I was supposed to be doing.
So once you get, the service, so you're like, okay, I know what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get there. So then and then you finally get there and you're like, oh.
I didn't know what I was. Man, you know, I've never worked a job.
He doesn't have to. Dominique is so good that he will never have to work a job because Dom has to navigate how he say yes to everybody because there's so many things that he could do. And I'm not lying. That's why he laughing so hard. He can play for anybody. So he have to be like, that's why he got to hear Bishop Younger. He like, man, this 5 people called in 2 days. Let me see Bishop. Lord, y'all, I need y'all to work with me here because this one look good.
They all
this
look
one
good.
pay good. This one pay real good.
They all look good. They all look good.
Yeah. So then you get there and you're like, okay, I see what I'm supposed to be on.
Yeah. So getting there was, like I said, I've never worked a job, never had to work a job. So me quitting the church that I was at to get to the ramp, it's kind of like people. If I was to tell people how much I was making at that church, they probably think I'm crazy for quitting and going to Lynchburg and getting a job. Getting a job, something I've never done before.
You felt it was that important.
It was that important.
Talk about that.
I mean, once I felt like, well, I'm not going to say felt like, but once I heard God say, get to the ramp.
By any means necessary.
By
because my soul is more important than my ability to play.
Exactly.
So if I got to switch up how I'm moving as a musician so that my inner man is fed, that's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, like I said, my journey getting to the ramp, when I quit my church that I was playing at, I got my job. I had no idea that I would be the MD at the ramp. So I quit my church, got a job, and that was it. I was just going to the ramp. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't go to Lynchburg to play?
Mm-mm. No, it wasn't about the music, bro.
Jesus!
This was more so my spiritual life.
Yes.
Like,
all he do is play at a very, very extremely high level. I'm going to stress that over and over. My wife is back there as a witness. We're not talking no slouch now. But you like, you know what? If getting to the ramp means I have to put this to the side for a second, that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. So how long did you attend the ramp without playing?
I moved in 2021. Mm-hmm. I didn't start playing till February of this year.
So then when did you become the MD?
February.
What?
February is when I started. Yep.
You started and became the MD in the same. Was it like 2 weeks now? Dom, you the MD.
Pretty much. Well, no, they told me they wanted me to be the MD like a month or two before for preparation purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as soon as February hit and they told the rest of the people second Sunday, it was me.
So I have a question. Were the other guys okay with it?
Now this is a good question. So me being the new guy coming in, there were some setbacks, and you know, because how would you feel if somebody was new coming in, you've been there 5, 6, some of them 10 years?
Yeah.
How would you feel?
So you just got here, you the MD? I've been here for 10 years, bro. Hey, what's good with this? So you got a little bit of. So how you handling it? Are you okay with it? Or
no, we're good. Like the band at the church, we're all like bros. Like we've been cool for.
Insane together.
We've been cool for a long time now. So it's yeah. So it's like we had it, we worked through it, and we just, you know.
So y'all ended up. Was it like a sit down conversation? Like
it didn't have to be.
Wow.
It didn't have to be.
So I don't know the situation because I wasn't there, but I can predict that the idea of you becoming MD with them being there, they felt away. But then you come in and they like, oh. Because you are very chill. That's the thing. The thing about Dom is not combative. He's not confrontational. And he's not aggressive at all.
Don't get me wrong, though. I can be.
Exactly. But that's the point. You're not that by nature unless the situation says, all right, wake them up. This is getting out of hand. So I could imagine them like just seeing you and feeling your spirit and knowing that it was okay.
I mean, for them, I think it was more so about me learning the culture of the church and knowing the culture because, like I said, they've been there for years. They don't want nobody.
They got it on lock. They got a sound. They got it. It's a whole brand. It's a whole thing.
So I don't think they wanted anybody coming in and messing up what they already got. You know what I'm saying? Like, because some things are sacred. Some things you don't change. Yeah. It's okay to change certain things, but some things, like, no, you need to keep that how it is. This is why you have what you have, because of this right here. So this shouldn't change. You know what I'm saying? Man. So I feel like that's the biggest part of it for them. Yeah.
Once they realized you were there to enhance it and not change it, they were cool.
Yeah. Once they realized I was gonna learn, I wanted to learn more than, you know.
So y'all, we're gonna take a commercial break, and we're gonna be back to continue the story, and we're gonna reach back and tell them the story about you and I. We have to do that because I think that's gonna help the homies. So we'll be back. Peace. What up, y'all? I'm Rajay, and I want to say first, thank y'all for the support, thank y'all for the love, and thank y'all for watching and listening to this podcast. We really don't take it for granted. Hey, if y'all want to continue to support us by spending y'all money, I got a way for y'all to do that. Y'all go to rajxsha.com and pick up that Make It Happen hoodie today. Life be crazy, but we still got to do what? Make it happen, gang. All right, y'all, we are back, and Dom is going to tell y'all a story that is probably going to make me emotional about us too. So if I start crying, if you know me, you know. Dom knows already, so it is okay. But Dom is going to tell the story, and then we're going to go from there. All right, tell him, bro. Don't laugh at me, man, because he know, like, anybody that know me know. If it hits, it don't matter to me. So if I start crying, y'all just be like, it's okay, man. All right, tell him, bro.
All right, so in 2017?
17, it had to be.
2017, there was, I'm not going to say no names, but there were some people that came to me and told me some things that, you know what I'm saying, supposedly Jamal had said. And some, you know what I'm saying. So, long story short, me being who I was at the time, I kind of just, I took it, I got the information, and I kind of just shut down with it, which was one of my go-to things when anything happened to me, was to shut down and isolate myself. So that happened, and I shut down without talking to him. I ain't call him. I ain't text him. It was what it was. I didn't want no part. So after I heard what I heard. Yeah. Which, you know what I'm saying, which wasn't right. We know that now. We're older. Yeah. Yeah. So, we went, what?
It was a minute.
3-4 years?
Yes.
Maybe more than, I don't even know. It could be more than that.
Yes.
But we went like 3-4 years without talking.
At all.
Period. Like none. At all.
Nothing.
And so, long story short, I moved to Lynchburg. I got under some good spiritual teaching, and I just kept hearing reconcile for a long time. I fought it for as long as I could. But eventually, you know, to grow spiritually, you got to follow the voice of God. So he kept saying reconcile. So I ended up calling Jamal. You know what I'm saying? Apologizing and telling him what it was, because we never had a conversation about it. So, yeah, I called him. I told him what it was. I told him what was going on. I told him why I felt like I felt. Yeah. And we went from there. And Yeah.
And it was crazy because at the time we had just did a gig with Sam.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So we working with Sam. We playing at church together. Had you already stopped playing at the church by then? Yeah, you had to.
Yeah, I was at Watts.
Yeah, he wasn't playing at the church with me anymore, but we were doing gigs with Sam. So all of a sudden, he wasn't responding. And let me tell you what's crazy. I don't know if you know this. I asked everybody. Dom, just go down the list. I asked everybody but the person that told you, because it never would have came to my mind that was the person that told you. So it won't even on my mind to check with that person. But the homies, y'all talk to Dom? Nah. Something ain't right. I can't get in touch with him. No, man, he ain't said nothing to me. Next person. Hey, you talk to Dom? No, not really. I'm about going, and I'm talking about, you talking about stressed? I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm trying to figure it out. And here's why I was trying to figure it out. Had I said something intentional to someone that I had no business saying, I would have known what I did wrong. What was confusing me is I couldn't figure it out. Like, you know when you out of pocket and you know you out of pocket and you like, I was talking to so-and-so and I remember I said blank, blank, so that's probably why he ain't talking to me. But because my intentions in the conversation were so pure, my mind didn't go to that conversation or that person. My mind went straight to the homies. Because I'm thinking the homies something done happened with some of our friends that made you feel the way you felt. So I'm like, I'm talking about I called all the boys. They couldn't tell me nothing. I'm like, y'all can't tell me. Because if you know Dom, even if Dom has not shut down, you might not get in touch with him. You just might not. You can't. If Dom answers the phone on a regular day, you're lucky. So if he has an issue, you're through. Because you already couldn't get to him to start with.
Hey man, text me.
So I'm like, yo. The boys don't know nothing. So then, when I called you about the that gig, we still hadn't talked. We still hadn't talked then. Mm-hmm. I just referred you. I'm like, somebody was like, hey man, there's a gig available, and I'm like, hey, Dom, I know we ain't talking, but I'm gonna figure out his number. I'm gonna get it to him. So then after that, that's when you hit me. And when you told me what happened, here's the point of why I want him to tell the story. When you told me what happened, I remembered what happened. And I remembered my heart about everything that I said. I said what I said out of concern. But it was brought to you. Mind you, the person that told you this, I don't know if they told you their response to what I was saying, because remember I told you that before. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a dialogue of mutual concern. That's what the true conversation was. So when you let me know, like, this is what was said, I was like, the way it was brought to you made me feel like there was slightly ill intent. This is when I learned that true concern for a brother or sister should be brought to that brother or sister. Period.
Facts.
Period. Talking to someone, even if it's out of love and concern, talking to someone about someone else can be easily misused, misunderstood, and it could get ugly. So when Dom reached out to me to reconcile, that's what I got from it. It's like, bro, even if you mean well, don't ever have a conversation about a person with another person. Especially if you say that's your brother. Call him. and be like, yo, man, I'm seeing how you be moving and I'm concerned. Now, two things can happen. Y'all really don't have that kind of relationship and he gonna tell you to kick rocks. Or he may be, or it may rub him the wrong way, but he be like, you right. But either way, it's only between y'all. Whatever happens, no other party is involved. And I wanted Dom to tell that story because Dom, you and I are both witnesses that sometimes the homies don't handle that right. We can get in very chatty situations that could just be a phone call to our brother.
Facts.
Sometimes it is genuine. Sometimes it is intentional ill intent. Whether it be from like envy or jealousy or anything, being upset because I wish I had that gig and you do, or I wish I had that girl and you do.
Which is stupid.
Yo, so like, yeah, that was and so back to you. How long was reconcile on your heart before you actually called? Because we know it was years between it happening and us talking. But what was like the timeline between you hearing that and then you calling?
Probably like 6 months. Whoa. Yeah, I didn't want to call. I didn't want to admit like, yeah, bro, I was wrong. Who wants to admit? I mean, who wants to admit that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I fought it for a long time.
So what was the fight? Like, what's going through your head while you fighting?
If I can be honest with you, I mean, this, can I say nigga? But
Go ahead.
This nigga did this. Why should I call him? Why should I do this? Why should I do that when I didn't do nothing wrong? Yeah. Well, I felt like I didn't do nothing wrong.
Yes.
But of course,
yes.
You know.
Yeah. So 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking because I've done that before. Like at this point, this 6 months, number one, y'all heard him say in the first part, he's seeking spiritual growth. He goes to a place where he sacrifices his own gift to develop spiritually. So then you get in this situation and God does what he always does. He said, okay, Dom, if this is what you want, the first step is check yourself. Okay, this what you want? If this what you want, I need you to fix this. And this is the first step to fixing this. And then you be like, please. I ain't trying to do that. So that's one example. Is there any other situation in this process where you had to do the same thing in another situation or with someone else?
Not really the same thing, but it's similar.
Okay.
It's similar. There are people that I have done wrong. You know what I'm saying? And not like, okay, he did this to me, so I'm feeling this type of way, so I'm acting off of that. No, it was more so I just did it. I'm just wrong.
Yeah.
So I gotta go own that. And,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I wouldn't say it's the same thing, but
it's a situation where it's another thing you had to work on. And another thing you had to just be like, you know what? I'm going to put my pride aside. I said I wanted this. God, I told you I was after being a better man and growing spiritually. So I'm going to just go do
what you said do. Just go do what you said.
So to be a young man, to be an amazing musician, to be in a situation where you literally, your gift is so crazy that you can have and do whatever you want. Why God first?
I mean, I did it for so long without God. So, I mean, I feel like I got to the point where I can't go any further, can't go any higher without him. So, I mean, why I keep doing it the same way?
You do it so long without God. Get to the point where I can't go any higher without him. So I want God a part of my life so bad that I'll give it up for a season if that's what it. Listen, That is heavy beyond heavy, bro. And you like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I need to get to the ramp. I'm gonna get a job. I ain't even worried about playing because I know how to do that. That part of Dom is almost mastered at this point. It is way further. He's a beast. That's the right response you're supposed to have. His gifting is light years ahead of his spirituality, which means he could have stopped playing for 3 whole years to get himself together and still would have been able to just jump back into the music. That's a fact. He's very humble. That is a fact. Shy, Jess, they are witnesses that is a fact. So the fact that you chose your inner man, I think, is what's important from this conversation. Choosing your inner man over your outer man. There's things that we all know how to do. Some people, it ain't music. Some people, it's whatever they do. It's whatever your career-based thing is that you studied all your life, whether you went to college or you just grew up like me and Dom did and just picked it up. That outer man is pretty much, it comes without repentance is what they say. Mm-hmm. The gift comes without repentance, but the pursuit of being stronger spiritually, that takes work. Mm-hmm. That takes a different kind of commitment. That is like to learn how to play keys. That takes work, but it's natural work. You sit behind the keyboard, you turn it on, you do your scales, yada yada yada. You do it every day. You do it a certain amount of time a day. You play gigs. You learn. You watch. You repeat what you see. It's a supernatural work to get your spirit right, cause that's a fight. Yeah, war every day. Boy, stepping on the battlefield every morning.
And that's not even the hard part. The hard part is it's a fight with yourself. Yeah, it's a fight with your flesh.
Yeah, man.
That's the hard part. The things that you want, you can't have them.
Jeez.
That's tough.
Yeah, man.
That's tough.
So
you gotta want it.
So what makes it worth giving that stuff up?
I mean, the outcome of it. Once you get what you want, once you get to a place where you're like, okay, spiritually, I'm there. Like you can lead your family, like you want to lead your family. You're not gonna run them off a cliff because you trying to do what you want to do and not what God says do. I mean, you got all these different things that it's like, why wouldn't you want this? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's too much to name. It's a lot of things that just.
But it boils down to being better internally automatically makes you better outwardly. Mm-hmm. With gifting, with relationships, with decisions. Mm-hmm. If your inner man's straight, I'm going to move in the world a totally different way. Yep. And I understand that my moving in the world has been a little bit out of pocket. So in order to get it in the pocket, I got to reverse engineer. I got to go back in, say, all right, God, the outer ain't right. The inner get me straight. And then now I can move. And you feel different with the way you're moving. Mm-hmm. Like you feel more clear. Like, okay, this is obviously dumb. The crazy thing is I would have did that and thought it was smart.
A few years ago.
I would have thought that was a genius idea. Now I see that that's a terrible idea. So, babe, do you have any questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay. You have any thoughts? Do you have anything you want to tell him? You ain't seen Dom in a long time. Is there anything?
I would love to tell him that I'm like very proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. I'm very proud of you. And that's from a place of just knowing where we all come from. Mm-hmm. And just seeing your growth. Like I don't see you all the time on social media, but I hear so much when it comes to you, and I just know your person. Yeah. I just know who you are internally. I know your intentions, and it makes me proud as a sister to see you be happy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's like, I don't want to get emotional. Okay. But that's very important. As you're my brother. So as a sibling, it's always good to see your sibling doing good.
Yeah.
And that's like on a broad scale, just on a major scale. Like your inner man is good. And that means the world to me. So,
Woo! Woo!
just keep doing it, man. Just keep doing it. Y'all stop.
Keep making it worse.
I'ma shut up. I'ma just hush. I got sound effects and everything. Responses. I'm the crowd.
Just keep going, because it's very, very, very good to see and very refreshing. And I just want you to know we always love you and we always here.
Yeah.
Forever.
Appreciate that.
That's
Love
real.
y'all too.
So, bro, she brought up a thing that I think you can speak to. She talked about you happy, her being happy to see you happy. So now we have to explain why she would be happy to see you happy.
Why she would be happy to see me happy?
Yes, or anyone who knows
I was about to
you.
say that's a question for her.
Why? Okay, boom. That's a question for her. Why are you happy to see him happy?
I'm happy to see you happy because I've watched you be unhappy. Like I've watched you walk around unhappy. I've watched you walk around unsatisfied with the way life is for you at the moment. I've watched you walk around sad, just thinking about certain things. And as a mother first and as a sister, I've always silently prayed for you. Because it's nothing like knowing a person and knowing their heart and wanting the best for them and seeing them struggle internally and emotionally, and not wanting to say anything because that can be aggravating. Like I'm already going through a lot. Like I really don't want to talk about this right now, and I understand where your heart is coming from, but just not right now. Like I'm not ready for that conversation yet. So I understood that. And it's been, 4 years?
Yeah.
So to see you where you are now is...
It was 17. The last time that we consistently saw Dom was 17.
So that's 5 days.
And by the time they see this, it will be 23.
Jesus. So about 6 years.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He thinking about it.
No, that's right.
Which is why she would
was
be so
6.
big.
She was 6 when I saw her last.
Yes, and she just turned 12. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. You said it. That
But
was
yeah,
good.
that's why I would be happy to see my brother happy.
Yeah, man.
It's a big deal.
And so that speaks to another thing, like in the music community, like we know each other musically and we know what each other's abilities are, weaknesses are, capabilities and all that. But it's different when we care about each other. I'll give you an example. Shout out Stephen Aaron Pender. He will call me and Dominique for absolutely no reason.
Yes.
At all. I mean, nothing. What you want, bud?
I was just checking on you.
I'm just checking on you, man. Just make you straight. That's what he called for. And sometimes we don't know what each other be going through. Mm-hmm. So just that I'm just checking on you could be like the thing that pull us out, bro. Yeah. So we have to be sensitive to each other as people, aside from us just calling each other, can you do this track? Are you free on this day? Check this week. It's like, man, because you don't want men and women that you call brother and sister to be able to predict why they see your name on their phone.
I know a lot of people like that. If they call me right now and be like, "Oh, he want this,"
God. Sheesh. So yeah, we have to get to the place where we like care about ourselves enough to care about each other more. Mm-hmm. And that's the vibes. That is the podcast. That is the conversation with Dominique Britt. You got anything, bro? Anything you want to say?
Nah.
But you got anything else you want to say?
I think I do want to go back to one place.
Okay.
I want to go back to family.
Okay.
And I want to ask the question, how does it feel as a musician to be a part of a family who's well known in the area? And because I know like how my daughter is, most young kids that's growing up in music can be intimidated by their surroundings and not wanting to be their shadow, but wanting to be their own person. So how was it like growing up, being in that predicament?
For me, it I'm not gonna say it wasn't that tough because there was some challenges, but for me, I kind of just stuck to like the greats in my family and not try to be in their shadow, but learn what they do, why they do, and how they do it, and then take that and imitate it. And like I was saying to you earlier, just make it my own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't be in the shadows because I don't sound like anybody else. I have your feel whenever I need to pull it out, but I don't sound like you. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. So how did you learn that, or was that in you? Like, was that natural for you to think about it that way?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Nobody ever showed me, so it was just something that happened. So I guess it was just natural.
And it makes it makes sense for like Dominique is and I'm gonna say it till the end. Dominique is a very highly gifted person. He's one of the most gifted people I know in the whole entire world. So for you to okay, let's talk about this. For you to be that dope and you not to even think of the situation as I'm in my family shadow, this is hard. People can look like the way I praise your gift, right? People can look at you and be like, he's extremely dope, right? And it could be a situation where people say that so much and they hold you in high regard and they disregard that it's like, my playing ain't all of me. And sometimes when I get off this stage, I don't feel like how I sounded. So you hear this coming out of the speakers. I have this ability to express myself through music, but I don't feel how I sound.
So a lot of times, back when we were playing at Morning Star, a lot of those times, like she said, I was very unhappy at that time. I was very unsatisfied at that time. So a lot of times we were at church and y'all were like, yeah, he killing. And the whole time I'm just like, I mean, yeah, I might be killing, but what is this gonna do for me at the end of the day?
So you come into rehearsal, you playing your part because that's what you do.
That's what I
but
do.
Then you going home like,
this can't be it. Like it's got to be something more than this. So yeah, and that's going back to the spiritual thing. Once I got that,
because then from when you left us, you went to the other church that was a high paying church. Then from there, you went to the Ramp. So now I want to ask you, as a man, not as a musician, how do you feel today?
Oh, I'm good today. I'm good. Even if I don't play, I'm good. I'm fine.
That means you are... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That means you are really content with your inner man.
Oh, yeah.
There are some... Dom, there are some... And you know this. There are some people who don't feel like they are anybody without playing.
That is true.
There's some people that they are playing.
That's kind of sad though, because at the end of the day, you're not always playing your instrument. You're not always going to be you're not going to be on a stage every day.
Right.
So what do you do when you're not on the stage, you're not in the church, you're not behind the keyboard? What do you do? Who are you? Yes. It's important to figure that out.
Yes.
It's very important.
And that's the choice you made. Mm-hmm. Like, I got to figure this because I'm unfulfilled, but I'm a professional musician who's consistently gigging. So the math ain't mathing, as Steve would say. There's a number or there's a variable missing from this equation because I'm doing what people want to be doing, but I ain't feeling right. Dom is feeling this way as a professional musician who can play on any gig he wants to. So that lets anybody know that no matter how dope we are, man, our inner man is important. More important. It is the most important. And like following God, following the voice of God, being in pursuit of being a better person spiritually, mentally. We didn't even talk about that. Emotionally, because that all, like when you're spiritually like out of whack, that takes your mind through. And I know you. I've been at Dom's house and watched him. We could be having a kickback at his house. That was the classic thing when you live here. We all over there. And he's engaged, but he thinking about, he could be sitting on the couch watching the same movie we watching. He could laugh every time we laugh, but he thinking about 50 million. And I'm like, that boy gone over there. He is gone. He is absolutely gone. Yo, so like Sha said, to see where you are now, man, I'm happy for you and I'm proud of you, dog.
Appreciate it, man.
So if you had to speak to someone who may be going through a similar situation that you were going through in 2017, what would your advice and or encouragement be? Talk to them right there.
My advice would be, first of all, to pray about it. Because if you feel that way, 9 times out of 10, you're not. It's something you're supposed to be doing that you're not doing. It's something God told you that you completely disregarded. And so that's probably why you're feeling like that. So I would say pray about it. Once you hear what God has to say, do it. Do it. Don't hear what he has to say and say, okay, but what about this? I want to do this. My personal...
Yeah, my flesh want to do this. My ego want to do this. My pride want to do this.
And I'm pretty sure God's in there like, all right, well, go ahead and do that and keep doing what you do and feeling how you feeling. Yeah. So like once you talk to God and he gives you answers, obey them. Yeah. Not partially. Partial disobedience is
still disobedience. Yes.
So yeah, that's my advice. Pray about it. Once you get those answers, act on it. Engage in what he tells you to do.
So what would your encouragement be to a person that's in a low place?
Pray about it. Once you get those say no.
Same answer. But it kinda really is.
I mean, yeah. Pray about it. Once you get those answers, act on it.
Yep. So I'm gonna ask you another question just to make it make sense because we silly. What did you do to get out of those low places?
I prayed about it. Once I got those answers, I acted on it.
Yes. So now, as funny as this is, it is organically happening where he's repeating himself because that is such a simple, hard thing to do. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is the formula to get out of 99% of the ruts that we are in. But we are so prideful, or we are so ashamed, or we are so afraid, or we overthink so much that just doing that is hard. So it could take you 6 months to call me.
Mm-hmm. And I probably missed out on some stuff because if I would have called you when I said call you, it could have been a major deal or something that happened. Like, hey, Dom and Rajay is producing Ty Tribbett's next. But because I didn't do what God told me to do. we missed it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, pray about it. Pray about it. Once you get those answers, then
Act on it.
Act on it.
We out. We done, y'all. We love y'all. Peace.